This is a quick tour of some of the main features of the Legal Apprentice software as described in the paper by Vern Walker and Steve Strong. First, we'll start with the search application and search for all sentences labeled as finding sentences within the data set. We see that there are 6,581 finding sentences. We'll do the same thing for reasoning sentences, and we see that there are 5,010. We search for the reasoning sentences that contain the word probative, and we see that there are 510. We further restrict our search by a number of words indicating comparison, and we now have 142. We further restrict our search to sentences that contain the word VA for Veterans Affairs, and we now have 60 reasoning sentences. We select 8 sentences out of those 60 to send to our legal pad, and we decide to add a note to the third one. After we close the window adding the note, the text of the note remains visible in the tooltip. We can also add tags to sentences. We can define new tags, such as this one I created named comparative probative value, and we can create tags with subtag structure. Here I've added subtags for the 2 types of evidence being compared, and have added drop-down lists to make my selections uniform. In the right, you can view the actual JSON code that this is adding to the sentence object in the JSON file. Now we send our 8 sentences to our legal pad. Here we have a view of legal pad showing our 8 sentences. Notice that the notes and tags that we added in search are still present in these sentences. Before working on the pad, let's go back and view an entire case in Legal Apprentice Marker. Notice in the row above the text that there are a total of 113 sentences, of which 7 are finding sentences, 18 are evidence sentences, 14 are legal rule sentences, and so forth. The color coding in the background of the sentence indicates the sentence type. The color highlighting makes it easy to read the text while appreciating the role of the sentence in the legal reasoning. Next, we'll switch to the marker mode. There are many things that you can do in this mode, but we will only look at a couple. We are looking at a decision in the data set that has been automatically enriched by an AI model that has predicted the sentence type. Notice that within this paragraph of legal rule sentences and citations, there is one sentence that the model predicted as not being any of these types. Marker shows us the prediction scores for all of the sentence types, and the person using Marker can decide to overrule the predictive model and convert this to a legal rule sentence. By selecting the filter button for legal rules, we can view a list of all the legal rule sentences in the decision. At any time, we can view the paragraph context in which a sentence occurs. Here we are looking at the 2 reasoning sentences in the decision and selecting one sentence and the paragraph in which it occurs for sending to our legal pad. A single legal pad file can be used to assemble sentences and paragraphs from multiple searches and multiple decisions. To illustrate PAD, we'll return to the 60 sentences that we found in an earlier search. The workflow of Legal PAD is to take the original sentences sent to it, group them into groups that we've created, and then display those groups for us to work on. Here I'm looking for argument patterns in which the VA evidence was outweighed, especially by non-VA evidence. So I created a group that I've named Evidence Outweighing VA Evidence, and I have here 4 sentences that I selected from a case that I want to build into a pattern of an argument. In PAD, I can add notes and tags to the group as a whole, or to individual sentences in the group. Here I've noted that this sentence is an intermediate conclusion about probative value. To this last reasoning sentence, I add the note that it involves lay statements alone being used to establish an in-service stressor, and I tag the sentence as involving lay testimony. This has been a very brief tour of some of the main features of Legal Apprentice. It is described more fully in this paper by Walker and Strong. The open source code for Legal Apprentice and the data sets from the paper are available in this GitHub repo. And for limited time, we have created a cloud demo of Marker and Search in Azure Web Sites.